All right, I got a story idea called Chainsaw Chan that I think is cool, and I want to just throw it into the void and see if anybody else picks up on it and maybe also likes it. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe someone will draw art of it, or maybe even a short manga. Unlikely, but who knows? All right, here we go. So I've got this concept, and you can argue it's not an entirely original concept of a girl who has to eat metal to live, right? Like the whole concept is that she's an otherwise normal person, but like her bones are made out of steel, so she constantly have to eat steel because her bones rust. So she's got to constantly intake new, fresh steel in order to replace the rusted steel because her organic body parts are quickly degrading her metal bones. And the quality of the metal that she eats directly impacts the quality of her actual bones. So I'm like, okay, man, this sounds really fucking cool. Just this character who eats fucking steel, preferably chains, just because chain links typically have a more durable sort of like tool steel almost that's impact resistant. So that's what she goes for because she is a high impact type of personality. You know, you can't go around running up in people's business and eating all of their metal without getting into trouble and getting like shot at and threatened. So like the whole concept is that she's not really like evil per se, more of like a public nuisance, but not like a villain of the week sort of public nuisance, like a main character. And so what I'm thinking of is like, you know, opening scene, she's at like some factory they've got like a chain link fence and these massive steel chain links meant to keep anybody out at night. And she just strolls up at night. She opens her mouth and she's just got like 3 rows of serrated, razor sharp steel teeth. And she just goes to town chomping on the steel chain links. And then once she's done with the chain, she goes to town on the fence. And because this like factory or facility or construction site or wherever the fuck she is has, you know, metal equipment like machinery, she just goes to town and starts eating like, you know, the vehicles and stuff. And this is where I'm thinking, okay, maybe after she like breaks in and starts like eating all the I don't know, fucking what do you call them, bulldozers and forklifts and cranes and whatever the fuck, someone's gonna eventually show up to stop her. Maybe the police get called, maybe security gets called, but since she's got steel bones, when they shoot at her, the bullets, they go through like the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the fat and the whatever, but they just stop once they hit her steel like skull and ribs and arms and whatnot. So it's never more than just a flesh wound. And I'm thinking, okay, do I want this character to bleed like blood or like oil? Because like maybe why does she have steel bones? Maybe it's like living metal. Maybe she's like a cyborg with living metal bones, and that's why she has to eat metal to replace this organic metal bone. Right? So maybe when she gets a flesh wound, there's blood, but when it gets deep into the metal and actually damages the metal, oil like comes out like black fucking oil, and that's how you know the character is actually really in trouble. Because if there's blood, it's a flesh wound, but if there's oil, you know she's really fucking hurt. So like a squad shows up of guards or cops or, you know, whatever. She starts taking fire, ping, 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 ricocheting off of her steel skull and or ribs. And to defend herself, she just goes buck fucking wild and just charges at them at like high speed and just tears these motherfuckers apart. She doesn't eat them because she doesn't eat flesh. She eats metal. But she does still like bite them and shred them. She's got like 3 rows of like shark teeth, steel shark teeth, you know? And then obviously if there's someone causing this much trouble and they've been alive for more than a week, you know, there's got to be some sort of specialist who's going to come around, a good Samaritan, a hero, a government agency, maybe a corrupt government agency, maybe whatever laboratory she escaped from has sent out a mercenary to capture her. I don't fucking know, but some specialist gets sent out to stop her. And what does he have? Guns? No, guns won't work. So he pulls out like a fucking katana or maybe a gladius or, you know, some sort of not overly long blade. And then he charges at her. And since he knows skull and ribs are protected by steel bones, but he also knows he's not going to take her out just with a simple flesh wound to the gut, because maybe she can regenerate. Yeah, fuck it. Let's say she can regenerate flesh wounds. Why? I don't fucking know. I'll figure out as I go. But anyway, this like sword wielding like super warrior goes charging in against Chain Eater Chan, and they just have a fucking fight. And he's like actively, instead of just trying to like go for the flesh wounds, what he's trying to do is get the blade like in her gut and then up under her ribs so he can puncture lungs or a heart or some sort of vital organ that's going to actually kill her, because flesh wounds will just regenerate. And so they fucking fight, and this fucking dude, oh, maybe he's got like multiple different types of blades. Like maybe he starts out with like a fucking katana and then she eats it. So then he pulls out like a wakizashi and they slash, and then she eats that too. Just every time he goes for a swing, she just chomps on the blade and like, ah, chomp, and then it shatters, right? And then he gets down to like the gladius or whatever, and he goes in and he gets the shot in the abdomen underneath those ribs, punctures something vital. She's wounded, she's scared, so she like retreats and runs away, bounding off into the dark, and he like chases after her, but she's just like, I don't know, got fucking super strength and super speed. I'm making this shit up as I go, by the way. And she just escapes into the night because despite being made out of metal, she's surprisingly stealthy because reasons. Fuck you. I don't need to explain this. And she'll just like fucking escape, and then it starts raining because of course it does. That's dramatic. So she'll just like run off into the rain and then show up at some random bozo's house, and it's like raining and she's wounded and she's bleeding, very clearly fucked up. So she'll just knock on a random door. Some dude will like open the door, and this like girl who's like covered in stab wounds will just like pass the fuck out at his doorstep, and he'll like grab her to take her in, but she's really fucking heavy because her bones are metal. So there's just this comedic moment of just this average dude grabbing her and dragging her into his house to like patch her up. And then she like wakes up in his house, and he's like, oh, thank God you're alive. I thought you were going to die. You know. Yeah, and why would he not have called an ambulance? Because an ambulance would have come and figured shit out and figured out that she is an escaped experiment or alien or whatever the fuck she is. So I don't know. I'll think of a reason why he didn't call an ambulance later. Maybe he noticed that her bones were metal and he was like, ooh, maybe this is a super secret. Maybe I don't want to get the government involved. Yeah. Maybe there's some obvious sign that she's not a normal human, and he's like, he thinks better of it. He's like, no. I don't want to get the authorities involved. I'm just going to patch her up as best as I humanly can and hope she makes it. And then she does, and then she wakes up. And since she's wounded, she's damaged, she's hungry again, and she just starts eating all the goddamn metal in his house. Pots, pans, ripping off the stovetop, eating that, and then she like tries to eat his house keys. He's like, no, please, I'll give you any metal in my house. Just please don't eat my fucking house keys, please. And she just kind of, you know, I think it's more interesting if she can't talk. Maybe on account of having her mouth full of fucking spikes prevents her from speaking. But for convenience, let's say that she can understand English, right? So he's just got to keep this fucking science experiment gone wrong safe and healthy and under control as she literally eats his own home. And this fucking assassin dude with like 20 fucking blades is like actively looking for her. And then eventually he finds the house and there's like a confrontation, and she like, you know, jumps out to save the dude who's been keeping track of her and taking care of her and shit. And just going buck wild. And then now his house, his place of, you know, where he lives is now compromised. This fucking super assassin knows where he lives. So after she like beats this assassin off, this time on their second encounter, winning the encounter and chasing him off, now he's got to fucking run. And now he just got to live his life on the run with this crazy, manic fucking Chain Eater Chan in tow, trying to keep her under control. And I feel like this would be hilarious action comedy, and somebody fucking write this manga, all right? I can't draw for shit. Somebody else write this goddamn manga. I don't know. Maybe I'll write a story. I don't really know where the story would go from here. I don't know. Shenanigans? Antics? Someone more creative than me. Please, make this a thing. Make it a story. I'll read it. Make it a manga. I'll read it. Whatever. Come up with... Just make fan art of the character. I'll fucking show it on Twitter or whatever. Shout you out. I've got less than 200 followers on Twitter. So maybe that's not that great of a fucking thing. I don't know. I just think it'd be cool. I want somebody to make it. The idea is yours to totally steal. I'm not going to do anything with it unless I read a story about it. But I don't know. I'm kind of lazy and already working on something else. I don't know. That's as far as I got. Bye!